I'm Allison Hoskins. I helped to enlist sponsors and I helped with art camp.
Hunter Hoskins, my primary role in the mission trip was facilitating the work at the pastor's house with the cleanup and the painting and that sort of thing.
I'm Jacob Sigler and I'm going into 11th grade.
I'm Lydia Lemons and I'm going into 10th grade.
I'm Cameron Ashley. I'm going into 9th grade.
My name's Caden Ashley and I'm going into 12th grade this year.
The mission trip we planned about a year ago. Jamie told us we're gonna go to Alaska next year. In the coming months we had a ton of prep work, and in June we went to Alaska.
We had 60 participants and it's a big effort to get everyone there, obviously.
Getting up at 11 and leaving at 2 from the church was really awful. I knew it had to happen, but it just was, it really put a hurt on everyone's body. It was better when we got to Alaska because we got into a van and we were able to sleep a little, and then we got to wake up to this amazing scenery.
When we first touched down there and got out of the airport and just started seeing the mountains and snow-capped mountains, that was really neat for me. I'm like nature, so what really struck me were the yellow flowers along the side of the road. I'm like, what is all this? And they're just dandelions. They're like dandelions on steroids. It's 4 times bigger than what we see down here, and I thought, well, that's just really cool.
The mission trip was to make relationships with people in Alaska. This particular area had not had a sports camp or a touch from the Alaska Mission and Retreat Center.
I got to help be a soccer leader, a huddle group leader for the kids, and I got to take them around to different stations and help them out.
All the kids were trying their hardest and every single one of them wanted to be involved. There wasn't one counselor that wouldn't hesitate to help them and show them some extra love and support and make sure that they were involved. There was always something for the little kids to do, and all the little kids enjoyed every second of the sports camp every day.
In the mornings, we all went and worked at a pastor's house his house needed a lot of renovating.
We started with cleanup the first day we were there, loaded a dumpster full of trash and debris from around the house, outside the house. In the meantime, we started scraping the paint off the house and getting it ready for priming and paint. Reports from the pastor, when he saw the pictures, where he's just blown away by the difference in what the students were able to do.
I didn't do the service at the pastor's house. I worked with the kids all day at art camp. We were working on a calendar for them to take home. We would have, a little month that they would do, and on the back there would be a Bible verse, something that, applied to that specific month. What was really cool about art camp was how much it grew throughout the week. On day 1, we barely had any kids, and then on day 4, we were overflowing. Watching that transformation of how God really managed to draw the community in and bring all these kids to be able to hear about Jesus and be able to do something like getting to paint was really special.
Another part of the trip that we did was a river rafting excursion. We went on the Kenai River and we got to see just an amazing, crystal clear blue river.
The river is glacier fed, so it has a nice iridescent color to it.
One of my favorite things that we did that week was we went to a pool with the whole youth group. It was just a great way for all of us to take our minds off of the work that we've been doing and give ourselves a little rest before getting back to it the next morning.
At the end of the week, we had a 12-hour boat cruise where we got to see a glacier, which was really cool.
I got to go out on the front of the boat and see all the things, we saw whales, we saw so many other wildlife. We saw a lot of eagles and some otters, and then we also saw some glaciers and just really cool landscape.
were some speed bumps along the way. That's a nice way to put it.
Like some people have mentioned, there was a lot of sleep deprivation because we were working really hard during the day, and we may not have been getting sufficient sleep at night. No one was severely injured or damaged from their sickness. There's one in particular that comes to the mind, which is Thomas Sigler. He was hospitalized, but cut the video. Cut the video. I know. I gotta restate that. I gotta restate that. Cut.
Well, now please describe your most memorable experience on the trip.
My most memorable experience. There was a little boy named Pearson who had some issues during the week. His mom had said there would be problems. One of my most memorable times is when he came out and he didn't want to play anymore. He didn't want to play. And so I said, well, I'll just sit with you for a few minutes and we can talk. And he asked me all sorts of questions. He said, do you know how to kick a ball? And I said, I have been known to. He was like, let me show you how to do this. Let me show you how to do that. And he would show me, he was like, okay, now you try it, kind of thing. It's one of my most memorable experiences with this little boy who opened up and I could see walls coming down and he was just precious.
I feel like for me, one of the ways that I saw God was through nature. I love nature, and it was just beautiful to see an area that God had created and how unique it was.
Obviously, as I mentioned before, the landscape, that was a phenomenal thing to get to experience. But then also, I feel like going into the trip, there was a lot of uncertainty. The initial plan was for all of us to do sports camp in the afternoon, but he was like, I don't think that's gonna happen. We don't know how many kids are gonna be there. So it was really, really uncertain in the beginning, but it was really cool getting to see how God worked through that and how at the end of the week we had so many kids and so many families and so many people that were really touched by what we were doing and the service that we got to participate in.
It was a lifetime experience that I don't think I'll be able to enjoy again as I did, because it literally was just something that not everyone will ever get to experience in their life.